Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Shaarz. So first of all, I want to say very big thank you for getting us to 800,000 subscribers, and today we're going to do a Valentine's edition look. Before you do that, kindly subscribe, share your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll be reading all of them kama kawaida, and if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Enough further ado, let us go straight into the video. Okay guys, we're going to start with the eyebrows as always. Brush the eyebrows up before you line at the lower side of the brows. To line, we're going to use the Davis number 3 eye pencil. Make sure the eye pencil is very sharp, and use very little force when you're doing this. To line towards the outer corner, bring it outwards, not inwards. On the upper side of the brows, leave a bit of space around the inner corner, and then again just follow the shape of the eyebrows to line. Again, we are using very little force. And before we start filling in, you're going to use the bar soap. Spray it with a bit of water, or rather wet it with the water, and then you're going to rub on it, and then you're going to use a thick white foam that forms there. You can take it with a spoolie and then use that to brush through the eyebrows before you start filling in. And when you're brushing, make sure they just fit in between the two lines. They don't go above the line on the upper side or below the line on the lower side. And then after, use a flat side of the brush, press the eyebrows in so they stick onto the skin, and then allow for the soap to dry out completely first before you start filling in. To fill in, you're going to just use strokes, gentle strokes around the inner corner. You're going to tilt your eye pencil like that and just create a shadow, okay? And you're using very little force when you're doing this. Now to clean, you're going to use a concealer 2 shades lighter than your skin tone, and you're going to use a flat brush to apply the product. Make sure the product is seated more on the side of the brush, not on the tip of the brush. And when you're holding your brush, make sure it's seated on this angle, okay? Don't point it directly towards the eye. Around the outer corner, bring it outwards as always. We left a bit of space around the inner corner. On the inner corner, you're going to use a foundation that matches your skin tone, not a concealer, okay? And then after, before you continue, just use a fluffy brush, blend the product downwards to the lids, okay? Very important. And then you don't need to clean the upper side of the brows. So before we start with eyeshadow, you need to prep your lids first. You can either use a concealer or an eyeshadow base. I prefer using an eyeshadow base, okay? And then you're going to use a fluffy brush, place the product on the side of the brush, and then you're going to start blending from the lower lid going up. So as it goes up, it just blends into the concealer on the upper side. We don't want the white overpowering the concealer on the upper lid. So the eyeshadow we're going to use today is from Shaarz Cosmetics. Starting off with this pigment here, you're going to use a very tiny brush, a small brush, okay? And the first transition, you're going to place it on the outer corner in a V shape as illustrated above, okay? A tiny V just on the outer corner alone, and then tap in so the pigment of the eyeshadow is maintained, okay? And then after that, you can tap off the excess product on the same brush, and then use that same brush to blend in the edge of that first transition. So after that, you're going to use a lighter shade of brown. Don't go for a dark shade, a lighter shade of brown, using a fluffier brush. So you're going to blend in, starting from the outer corner going towards the inner corner. You're going to use circular motions, very little force. And then after, you can use a finishing powder that matches your skin tone, and I used that to set in the concealer on the upper side, just below the eyebrows. That concealer there, make sure you set it in. And then after, you can darken the outer corner using a dark brown, don't go for black. And then you're going to place that dark brown on the just V shape again, on that small V shape, and then you can blend it in later. For darkening, you don't have to do it, especially if you're a beginner. You can leave that step alone, okay? And then after, you can just blend in that crease region, and then apply on top of it here. You're going to apply a nude matte shade, very important, okay? And then after, again, this step is not very necessary. You can use a shimmery pigment. You're starting off with a glitter glue. To apply the glitter glue, you're going to use a flat brush. Don't use a fluffy brush for this, okay? And then to apply the pigment itself, you're going to use a fluffy brush. So this applies both when you're going to use glitter and pigment. Use a fluffy brush, okay? And then after, you're just going to do a liner, a small liner, one liner, okay? We're not doing a wing today. And then you can use a very tiny brush to blend in the liner on the outer corner into the eyeshadow, okay? You can add the same brown shade you used to darken the outer corner, just so it blends into the eyeshadow itself, okay? You don't need to do that as a beginner. After, I'm just doing mascara and then applying my falsies on top. Now moving on to the face, because I don't have a serum, I'm going to start off by spraying using the Milani Make It Last Original Setting Spray as our first step. And then after, I'm going to apply the Bondi Sands SPF 50 sunscreen. This sunscreen is like my best ever sunscreen ever in the history of ever. Just going to apply that all over. Okay, it's very, very moisturizing, this sunscreen. All over, allow for it to set fast. Look at the way my skin is glowing. And then after, you're going to apply primer. I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte primer for me, and I'm only going to apply that on my T-zone area alone. Again, guys, for context purposes, my skin type is a dry skin. And then tap it in. After, allow for it to set fast before you move on to foundation. For foundation, I'm going to use the Nars foundation. I'm using the shade Macao. You're going to use a damp beauty blender. Make sure you squeeze out the excess water completely. Okay, and then for blending, you're going to tap, tap, tap. Avoid using foundation on the under eye. Okay, and around the nose region, you're going to use a very tiny amount. Tiny, little amount goes a long way. On the forehead, you can blend it just above the eyebrows, going left to right, right to left, like that, upwards. So next, you're going to highlight using the e.l.f. hydrating camo concealer. This concealer is a very pigmented, sorry, so use a very tiny amount. So you're going to start off with the under eye. Just a dot on the inner corner is enough. On the bridge of the nose, 2 dots are enough again. Around the forehead, just a tiny bit in between the brows, and then go ahead and blend it in. If you're a beginner, I would recommend you blend it in immediately. Don't wait for that concealer to dry out fast. Okay, and as I said, these concealers are very pigmented, so please, a tiny amount goes a long way. Don't do too much. So next, to set that in, you're going to use a finishing powder that matches the shade of the concealer. You're going to use the same, if you're going to use the same beauty blender, use the side that has product. Okay, take a generous amount of that product and use that to press it in. Press to set. Okay, as illustrated. And you're going to set all the areas you highlighted using a concealer, so that includes the bridge of the nose, forehead, and you can do it around the lip as well. So to contour, we're going to use the Shaarz Contour and blush palette. We're going to use this shade in particular. For contouring, especially as a beginner, don't go for a very dark shade of contour. You're going to use a fluffy brush, and to blend, you're going to do it in a sweep-like motion upwards, especially for contouring the cheeks. Okay, on the forehead, you're going to blend into the hairline. Now moving on to nose contour, you're going to use 2 separate brushes. You're going to start off with a flat brush and then blend it in with a fluffy brush. Now starting off with a flat brush, you're going to start where your eyeshadow stops in a 45-degree angle, bringing it in on both sides first, and then that is going to give you a guideline on where exactly to place the contour lines on both sides. And remember to cut down there as well. And then to blend that in, you're using the fluffy brush. Make sure it's clean, and then you're going to start above, blending it into the eyeshadow first. Then as you go down, you're going to tap it in. Okay, don't drag this contour down, tap it in so it just stays there. Okay, and then after, we're just going to use a creamy eyeliner on the waterline alone. Please don't bring it to the inner corner, just on the waterline alone. And then after that, I'm just going to set the whole face using the Milani Make It Last Original Setting Spray. Original, okay? And please, when you're spraying your face, spray it at a distance. Don't place that setting spray too close to your face, okay? And then after, for the lips, I'm starting off with the Zaron lip liner in the shade Vivid. All the products I use here are going to be on the description box, so please check the description for the products, okay? So I'm just going to start off with the Zaron as my first lip liner, and then make sure you always blend in the lip liner first. Very important, okay? And then after, I am going to outline that lip liner with a darker lip liner. I'm using black here. I don't know why, it just makes my lips look gorgeous when I do that. Can you guys see that? And then after, because it's the month of love and it's the Valentine's theme, we're going to use red lipstick. Today I'm using the Wet n Wild red lippie. Ooh, how beautiful is that? And then blend it in, and yeah, that is it. That is it for the whole look at my lips, yo. But anyway, guys, you don't need to do it red. You can go for a nude lippie if that is what you prefer. Okay, I just did this because it's the month of love, it's Valentine's, we need to do red at some point. Okay, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you have learned something. I am looking gorgeous, the skin is skinning as always, and let me know if you have any videos you would like for me to do next on the comment section. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. I'll see you on my next video.